have to hear. Drink a good deal of it, make a good meal of it, stick to your old-fashioned beer. Now don't be afraid of it, drink till you're made of it. Now all together a cheer.
Hi again everybody, it's Mark, your one-take beer reviewer, here to pop the cap off a couple of beers once again. And I noticed with my last video that there was still a lot of interference from what sounds like some machine that was left running. I don't know if it's from, maybe I left something in my basement laboratory here going, or maybe it's a fault with the new camera, so I may not be singing the praises of it much longer. We're going to see with this one. I had tried hooking up a microphone to myself and plugging it straight into the computer through Audacity to sync it, but even that sounded even worse. So let's just forge ahead and pop open some beers. These are some that have been provided to me by Louis Glunz, one of the beer distributors in Chicago, and they were talking about a line of gluten-free and organic beers. Gluten-free beers, for those of you who don't know, and I barely know just from looking it up, here once again to talk about for people what a wonderful subject celiac disease or allergies to gluten, the proteins formed in wheat and other grain products, all of which go into making beer, unfortunately. So there are a number of alternatives that have been created, beers brewed from non-traditional products like millet, sorghum, and all sorts of other stuff, and some of them have been sent here for me to try. I'm going to bring them up together. First is New Planet. This is a brewer in the Boulder, Colorado area, and their beer here, they have three. This one is Off-Grid Pale Ale. It's a 5% alcohol beer, so it should be pretty hoppy. The hops, luckily, are not affected by either of those disease or allergies, and this one is made with sorghum, brown rice extract, molasses, tapioca maltodextrin, and hops and yeast. So that's the kind of thing we try to go through to make something that'll taste like beer the way people remember it. And then this is a Belgian beer. It is a Tripel style, brewed by, and let me look at this and try to get the name correct, because I will of course blow it. De Proefbrouwerij in Belgium, the town of Le Christie, where it also makes a lot of other gypsy beers. I think one or two Mikkeller beers has popped through their brewery. Anyway, this is under the Greens label in America, and it is Quest Triple Blonde Ale. It is an 8.5% beer, so yes, there can be strong Belgian styles made with gluten-free, and both of them I think one of them will be certified as a vegan beer, since it is also made without findings of isinglass or gelatin. But of course, if you are vegan, you'll be checking on that yourself. Anyway, we are going to first pop the New Planet. And if you're like me and do just fine with regular beers, you might not be expected to care much for this, but well, I am always involved in a beer adventure, and besides, it was provided. So let's set the bottle where it won't fall over. This is the Off-Grid Pale Ale, and it has a nice brownish pale ale color and slightly fuzzy head. I've tried some gluten-free beers before, and they will have a little different style of head retention. And this has got mostly a little bit of hop to it, so I think that's a good idea to just run some hops and make it the first thing you notice in the nose. This tastes pretty nicely close to a beer. I get a little bit of the rice that's in it. Some of the ones I've had have had a little sour tanginess to it, but this has clearly got a pretty good sized hop load on. I'm getting a bit of a candy taste to it right now. But again, it's the alternative for people who couldn't have beer otherwise. But as a regular beer, well, not a regular beer, but as a beer in itself, it comes pretty close to passing muster. So let's try the Greens, the Belgian Triple. And yes, I should have a Belgian Triple glass for this, but I just wanted them both to pour into the same glassware. Triples are going to be pretty light, which is kind of counterintuitive because Belgian doubles tend to be dark. And that's a pretty nice color for a beer, especially for a Belgian triple. It's a little bit on the coppery side. The head's a little bigger, but it's much more bubbly than you would normally get from a Belgian beer. Not as much of a hop smell, which is to the style of a Belgian beer. Now, a Belgian triple can have a little bit of candy or sugar flavor to it, so that is there, so that works with this style. The alcohol is not very apparent in the first couple of sips. Yeah, it's starting to warm up now. I have had a couple, as I've said, of the gluten-free beers and not been too impressed, but I think they're starting to come along now. I think if again, like me, you don't need to worry about glutens and the proteins in your beer, this may not be acceptable, but I'm finding if this were the only choice I had, I would not be too upset about it. So that is a look at a couple of gluten-free beers. Green's Belgian triple called Quest from Belgium, and New Planet Off-Grid Pale Ale from Colorado. So a couple of interesting choices, and again, for the person in your life who has problems with cereal grains, this might be an alternative you can check out.
Now don't be afraid of it. Drink till you're made of it. Now all together a cheer.